Hey everyone, it's Serlina Rose, and today we have someone real special for y'all. Someone who talked about grief, motherhood, love, a person who lost their child. I mean, real bad, no young Miami. How did you come about this crackhead?
Woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm gonna fall in love with a crackhead because that is not my intention.
I used to think this was enough, just being here, being with him.
When I started wishing bad things to happen to me, because I would sit in the car going to work and I'd be like, I wish a car would just hit me. If it doesn't bring me peace, I don't want it. I lost my love. And
How do you think that all of this has shaped you to be the woman you are now?
it definitely has shaped me to be.
Today on Udonia TV, check it out. Hey y'all, today we have Tiffany Stepney from Used to Love a Crackhead series. Now this TikTok series is wild, man.
Yes, it really is. And it's true.
And it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get a little bit into it? So like, how exactly did you come about this crackhead?
Well, it's not like I woke up one day and said, I'm gonna fall in love with a crackhead because that is not my intention. It's the whole typical, excuse me, you meet someone and you think that they're the total package. They're saying all the right things, they're doing all the right things, but the whole time they were hiding a big secret. And so,
That he was a crackhead?
yes, that was the big secret. And it was very shocking because the whole time I thought that he was cheating on me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about it, it was with the crack pipe. But I didn't know it at the time because I had never experienced that before. Who does that? Who decides they want to date a crackhead? So I decided after years and years of this happening, I decided it was finally time for me to tell my story as a way for me to heal from it. So that's how we came about that.
So what would you say to all your viewers who follow the series? What would you say right now to them?
I would say always trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it usually isn't. So that's the main thing. Just listen to your gut, not your heart, because your heart can sometimes steer you in the wrong direction. Because obviously, I saw the outside. Someone gives you a gift, and the present is wrapped up in this nice bow, and then you open it up, and there's nothing but trash inside. So that's my warning. Don't go. I'm not saying don't listen to your feelings, because of course, feelings do play an important role, but that gut, like that inside intuition, it never steers you wrong.
Was he fine?
Yeah, girl.
I'm sure he was. Hey man, same
I wouldn't
man.
have been talking to him.
So I've been listening to and following your series for a while. And how did you get over this?
Well, it wasn't easy because the heartache, the pain, the shame, the embarrassment, all of that I had to experience. And not to mention, at the time, I had two small girls. So just trying to like overcome all of those issues that I was dealing with and be strong for my daughters, that was a big part of it. So after that relationship, I pretty much just said, you know what? I'm gonna chill. I'm not trying to get out there in the dating pool, and I just kind of focused on my daughters. And I've always had the notion of if something's meant to be, it will be. And if something happens, things don't just happen by chance. So I was like, if there's love out there for me, it'll come. I'm not rushing it. I'm just gonna focus on myself, focus on my daughters, being a good mom as best as I can, and just continue. So I just took it one day at a time.
So how are you feeling mentally today?
Well, mentally today, that is a very loaded question because in order to talk about mentally today, we have to talk about the things that led up to today. So, since that whole incident between the crackhead and today, I had two major losses in my life, and they were actually 2 years apart. So, my mom passed away first in 2016, and then 2 years later, my firstborn daughter passed away in 2018. So, that those two incidents right there just really gut punched me, if you will. So the fact that I lost my mom was very devastating because she was pretty much my confidant. She was my best friend. She became more than my mom. As an adult, she became my best friend. We traveled together. She had the greatest advice. She had the spirit of discernment. She could look at someone and tell if they was about something or not. So I missed that when she passed away. I didn't have that anymore. I was by myself because I'm an only child. So I didn't have anything to lean on or things of that nature. So what I did was I immersed myself in work. And I should have gone to grief counseling, but I didn't because I thought I could handle it myself. And before my mom passed, I did go to counseling because taking care of an older parent that's going through health issues is stressful on the caregiver as well as the rest of the family. So at the time, my children were younger and my mom was sick. So you have me, the only child, going to work, coming home, taking care of my daughters, then taking care of my mom. And then she would get sick, and we had late night visits to the hospitals, the ER, calling ambulances, things like that. And so it was too much. I felt like I can't do it. So I went to therapy and I did talk to someone, and they kind of helped me. They were like, this is the time when you have to pull all your resources, even though you say you're an only child. You do have family, you do have friends, you do have coworkers that you have a good rapport with. So call on them. If you need a break, if you need someone to take your daughters out while you take a nap, do that. Or call your aunt to come and watch after your mom or her sister, things like that. So she helped me see that even though I keep saying that I'm by myself, that I really wasn't. But I can be hard headed. So
And honestly, you low-key, there's an entire time I was thinking about having flashbacks of me and my mom having our moments and everything too. So it's kind of crazy you said that. I'm literally going to call her after this. I'm going to tell her all about this. That's insane. But so my first question for you, official question, is what was your life like before the loss of your mother?
so the my life was pretty much
All right, y'all. This conversation is getting real intense, real fast. And when I say real fast, I mean real bad. No Young Miami. So now let's hear from our sponsors. Bye.
Imagine stepping into a therapy session, feeling unsure and overwhelmed. But what if you can walk in with confidence and a clear mind? At the Udonia Project, we bridge the gap between uncertainty and empowerment, providing tools and guidance to help individuals make the most of their journey. Inspired by the challenges many face when seeking mental health support, we set out to create a space where preparation meets progress. We understand that the first step into therapy, it can be daunting. That's why we offer essential prep work through workshops, support groups, and educational resources. Our services are designed to empower you. From interactive workshops and support groups to comprehensive resources, we ensure that you're ready for every step of your therapeutic journey. Join us at the Udonia Project. Together, we can transform uncertainty into confidence and make a lasting impact on your mental health journey. Let's bridge the gap to a brighter future.
Did you hear about an amazing opportunity to help shape the next generation of AI models?
Really? What does it involve?
Basically, you use your expertise to train AI. It's super flexible. Work whenever and wherever you want. And they pay pretty well too.
That sounds interesting. Do you need to be in tech for this?
Not at all. They're looking for people with all kinds of expertise, from creative writing to law, history, coding, you name it. You just need to be good in your field.
So, what would I be doing exactly?
Things like evaluating AI responses, rewriting prompts, and providing feedback to make AI smarter and more accurate. Plus, you get to learn new things while you work.
This sounds like a great way to make extra income. How do I sign up?
Just go to their website, create an account, and start the onboarding process. They even have squad leads to help you get started.
I'm definitely checking this out. Thanks for letting me know.
you had to think about it. It was kind of boring, really. I say boring, but it really wasn't. I worked. I submerged myself in work a lot, and I did things with my daughters. We loved to travel. We always, every year, we would go to Disney World to the point where they thought Disney World was our second home, and they were like, "Can we move to Mickey's house? I want to live in Mickey's house." And that's how much we would go. And I was like, you know what? One day I'm going to work for Disney. But they were like, "Yay!" It never happened, because we're still here, obviously. But life was filled with work and the girls. So I worked hard, but I also played hard. And I was just coasting along. I had a few relationships here and there, but nothing really noteworthy outside of the crackhead.
So, after you lost your child, how did you get through that grief?
Now, that was the hardest because, like I said, after I lost my mom, I just kind of worked my way through it without getting real therapy. But when my daughter passed, when I got the news, I was at that point, depression set in big time to the point where I didn't even want to be here anymore. And yes, I knew that I had my younger daughters, but it was like I lost my mom. Then 2 years later, I lose my oldest daughter. I'm like, just Lord, take me now, that kind of thing. So I really had to dig deep, and I did get therapy. I spoke with a grief counselor. I was in support groups, and I had to realize that it wasn't just me going through the grief, but my daughters, they lost a sister. So, like I said, I was an only child, so I really couldn't relate to that part. All I knew is that my mom was gone and my firstborn. And then I started thinking about when I was pregnant with her and giving birth to her and then watching her grow up, and now she's not here. So it took a lot. And I am a faith-based person. I was raised in the church. So through prayer and going to therapy, that was the only way that I could get through it because I didn't see any other way.
Right. So, could you describe the first moment you realized, dang, I lost my family members? I'm really at a point. You mentioned your depression. So, what would you say was your breaking point and real point to be like, I need to get help?
When I started wishing bad things to happen to me, that's when I knew I needed help because I would sit in the car going to work and I would be like, I wish a car would just hit me, just take me out because I didn't want to be here anymore. I was just going through the motions. People were asking me, how was I doing? And I can put on a great face. Oh, I'm just taking it one day at a time. And inside, I don't even want to take it one day at a time. I don't want this day for real. So that's when I knew when I wanted bad things to happen to me or when I was taking some medications, I was like, what if I just go to sleep and never wake up? That kind of stuff. And finally, I was sitting there and I I'm just gonna say it was God's voice. Was like, what are you doing? You have girls to live for. You have people. Why are you thinking like this? Imagine how they would feel if you're not there. And what would they do? How would they feel? Do you want them to end up like you, feeling like in this low moment? And so it was at that point where I was like, you know what? I don't want to feel this low ever again. So I did go to therapy. I did talk in group therapy, group sessions. Again, I prayed. I would talk to some family members that I felt I could trust, and I got through it. But the thing of it was, as I was being really hard on myself, and I was trying to make myself be better. I was trying to force myself to be healed, and I couldn't because it was like the more I kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to think positively. Think it's going to be a great day," then those thoughts in your head come back, and I'm like, I don't want to be that low because sometimes you get low, you can't come back up.
Every second, someone is seeking a break. A sanctuary just for you. A retreat where you reclaim time. All moms deserve a break. Hey moms, my name's Shakita Winder. I'm your new travel agent. I'm here to get you there.
So what made you get the strength to come back?
God. It was all God. I would pray, and some people, when they pray, they think that they're supposed to say this formatted prayer, like "Holy of Holies." I think that I was like how I'm talking to you. That's how I was talking to God. I don't want to be here anymore. What can I do? Show me. You say you're there. You say you love me. Show yourself.
Why was it so important for you to rush and heal?
Um, because of family, friends, people felt like there was a timeline for grief, and I wasn't meeting that timeline apparently. And actually, I had someone tell me, "Oh, that was a year ago. You still thinking about that?" And I'm like, "Thinking about that? That is my daughter. What do you mean I'm still thinking about
I
that?"
hope you cut them off.
Oh, you would. Because and it's like, and until you experience it yourself, you will never know what's going on. And I told that to my therapist too. I was like, people are telling me that it's been a year and that I should just move on. And I'm like, they don't understand. I can't. I want to because I was like, I have children to live for. I'm a head of a household. I have bills to pay. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I couldn't because I was stuck. And so I just felt like society in general was just putting a timeline, and there is no timeline to grief.
Right. So I want you to talk. I understand there's no timeline to grief, but in the same breath, what advice would you give to someone who has been going through grief for years, going to the point where it's affecting their own relationships, their jobs? What advice would you give them?
Take time for yourself when you need to. Realize that every day is not going to be a good day. You're going to have your moments, you're going to have ups and downs, and be kind to yourself. There's no need to beat yourself up because day wasn't a good day. So be kind to give yourself. There's a book, it's called Grace to Grieve. And it's like, know that yes, you're grieving, but you're still going to get through it. And so that's the grace part. So today may not have been a good day, but there's always tomorrow. And you can just hit the reset button, just start over again.
So giving yourself grace is something I'm definitely taking away from this, giving yourself time. And I feel like even if people who aren't going through grief, they can use what you're saying. And it sounds like you gave yourself some time to move forward, right?
Right.
All right, guys. So we'll be right back with messages from our sponsors.
Hey guys, I'm here with the Interactive Video Genie, and I just wanted to demonstrate how it works. So, Interactive Video Genie, I got a question. What if I wanted to reach a customer who, let's say they're interested in fashion?
No problem, Emmanuel. We've got you covered. We'll ask your customer a series of tailored questions to understand their interests, preferences, and needs.
So it's like having a personalized conversation with each customer, guiding them exactly on what they're looking for.
Exactly. By engaging your customers in this interactive experience, we ensure they feel heard, understood, and valued. It's the perfect way to connect with them on a deeper level and drive engagement.
That's incredible. Thank you, Interactive Video Genie, for showing me how you work. It looked like you're going to be a powerful tool in our hands.
Anytime, Emmanuel. Together, we'll revolutionize the way you reach and connect with your customers.
Come to In Vivo Exposure and check out our Interactive Video Genie, where your wish is our command. So you got an unexpected call from Mom. She's coming over for dinner tonight to see you and your girlfriend. Excitement turns to panic. How to turn this chaos into comfort in time. And then your girlfriend says, why not call Magic Cleaning Partners? And with no time to spare, Magic Cleaning Partners swoop in, your champions to clean. Watch as every corner, every surface, every moment transform They're not just cleaning, they're curating comfort. Just in time. The house doesn't just look amazing, but it feels like a home. A memorable evening, all thanks to Magic Cleaning Partners. Because we're not just OCD about cleaning, we're passionate about perfection. Your home, our mission. Join the Cleanup Club today.
I think that giving someone time, giving yourself a moment, just a moment for yourself can take you a long way. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
So how do you feel about those who are going through a timeline, a long timeline of grief, to the point where they're not getting their work done? I work in the special education field, and one thing that I noticed that students do, they'll be grieving about something to the point where they can't do their work.
Mhm.
What advice would you give someone who's so young dealing with grief?
So I would say to a young person that's so deep into the grief that they can't function, to definitely seek professional help. Mommy can't do it for you. It helps to talk to someone else, because when you seek professional help, there's no judgment. You don't have to feel scared. Like, I can understand speaking to a professional about the grief and how it's not allowing you to function in your day-to-day activities would be a first step.
Right. So going to a professional would be a first step. What if someone who, I know you mentioned prayer, what if someone who doesn't believe in God, what would you suggest to them besides professional help? Would you suggest, I guess, doing a routine, or what would you suggest?
So, for those that may not believe in God, there are meditations that you can do, daily affirmations. You can do breathing techniques. There's a few breathing techniques. Yoga could help. So, one of the things that I do personally before I take on a task, I know I'm going to have a stressful day at work. So, I'll do this breathing technique where I'll inhale slowly for 4 seconds, for a few seconds, and then I slowly exhale for like about 8 seconds. And then I'll repeat that, about maybe 4 or 5 times. And usually by the end of it, you do feel a sense of, calm and relief. So that definitely could help. Would you like to try a breathing technique with me?
I would love to.
Great. So we're going to start with inhaling through our nose for 4 seconds. Ready? And we're going to hold it for 4. And we're going to slowly exhale for 8.
I'm not even gonna lie, I feel 10 times calmer already. I'm not even gonna lie.
I tell you, it helps me, so I'm glad it helps you. So hopefully it'll help others. That's great.
So let's get moving along. Let's talk more about positive daily affirmations. Talk more about that. For someone who doesn't know what that is, can you explain to what that is?
Absolutely. So, positive daily affirmations are pretty much statements that you say to yourself. You can look at yourself in the mirror and say it, or you can just, when you get out of bed, you can say things like, for instance, what I say is, I am, again, because I am faith based. So, I say things from the Bible. So,
Mhm.
I'll say things like, I am above and not beneath. I am the head and not the tail. Or I'll say things like, for those that are seeking financial prosperity, I'll say, money is attracted to me. Positive things are flowing. I am going to have a powerful, impactful day. Just positive things that you tell yourself. For instance, if someone needs confidence, they'll say, I am strong. I am independent. I am whatever they want to tell themselves that they are. And so you speak it. And so as you speak those things, your words have meaning and it has power. So when you put that out there in the universe, it's saying, oh, this person is on their A game. So we're going to let things happen and we're going to move things for them and shift it in their favor.
So I want to talk a little bit about that. Positive affirmations, especially in the mirror. I've been on TikTok. And I don't know if y'all are on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok. So I'm 23, of course I'm on TikTok. So I've been on it, and I heard about this thing called the mirror method. And you look in the mirror, it's like they say it's a spell, but I think it's just you tricking your mind into believing something.
Mhm.
Because when all you do is look, I'm looking in the mirror right now, and you say 6 times, I'm beautiful. And then you keep saying it for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes straight. And you keep going, and then you stop and you keep doing this for like a month straight. And eventually you'll believe that you're beautiful, or eventually some money will find you. So what I did was I said, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, love is attracted to me, I'm attracted to a new job, things like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a brand new job. So
Oh,
things like that, things happen. So let's wrap that up. Bring
You have the white picket fence, palm trees slinging in the air, and clouds that are so close to the earth you can almost touch them. They just sit up there living their best life, bro. Clouds got the best job.
You ever think the clouds get depressed living their best life?
Of course. How else would you explain the rain?
let's go let's talk more about that. Do you believe that when you say positive affirmations, things actually start to happen?
absolutely. I believe that you have what you say. So people listen, do not say things
Look
negatively.
at the camera and say that.
Do not say negative things
Mhm.
because you have what you say. So little things, if someone says, oh, he makes me sick, guess what? You're going to get sick. Or, oh, he's making me crazy.
He about to make you crazy, girl.
Don't do it. You might think it, but do not. That powerful tongue, it holds power. Let's say you've had an argument with a friend and things got heated and you said some things that you later regret. Well, guess what? That hurt is still there. So even though you may have moved on and said, I forgive you, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. So that's why it's important to watch what you say and think before you speak. So again, you have what you say. So if you say that you are going to be debt free, keep saying it. It may not appear right now, but eventually it will happen. And it's all about the mindset. If you believe what you say, you have it.
Right. So I want everyone the one thing to take away from this is believing what you say, you will have it. That's a quote by Tiffany Stepney. And I hope that you guys are taking that away. How did you know when you truly began to heal?
I knew that I was healing because I'm not going to say that I'm healed. Actually, I'm contradicting myself. I am healed. But when I realized that I was healing is when I didn't feel those negative thoughts pressing in my head as much anymore. I'm not going to say that they didn't hit my head because they would enter, but it's about how you react to it. So whenever I would get those negative thoughts or feeling down or depressed, I have my own personal technique to deal with certain things. So my therapy is music. So if I'm feeling down about something, I'll listen to music, positive, uplifting music. I'm not going to listen to down kind of music. I lost my love and like that. I'm not going to listen to that kind, but I'll listen to positive, upbeat stuff. And also, whenever I would think about my mom or my daughter, instead of the first reaction being crying and actually a smile, or I would just be like, I wish you were here, that kind of thing. Then I knew that I was healing because before, if someone looked at me and said, how are you doing? I would just, I was a wreck. But now when people ask me, and I said, I'm still taking it one day at a time. But this time I mean it. I'm not saying it just because it's the facade or the cliche thing to say, but I knew that's how I was healing. When things that used to make me so sad, I'm not going to say I don't get sad anymore, but I know how to cherish the memories now so that I can continue to move forward. And honestly, I feel like grief is just you love someone so much, and now that they're not there, you can't give them that love anymore. So now I just try to channel other things. I have a beautiful granddaughter now, so I just smother her with love and affection and kisses. And my other daughters, even though they're older, how y'all get sometimes, your mom comes up and want to hug you. So I have that with my 14-year-old, but she loves it. I know she does. And so, and then I found that I have a love and appreciation for nature. One day I was just walking down the street and I saw a beautiful butterfly land on a flower, and I was just so struck by it that I took a picture of it because I was like, oh, this is beautiful. This is nature. So just kind of being in touch with myself and appreciation and love for nature.
In a world where second chances are as rare as responsible decisions from Jim, comes a story so unexpected, it'll have you choking on laughter. One man, one decision, one ridiculous, unforeseen opportunity to beat the odds. Will Jim's new lease on life end in triumph, or is his fate about to double down on disaster? Return. Can he beat the Reaper in this laugh out loud showdown, or is this his final curtain call? Coming soon on Udonia TV.
Why animated videos engage viewers better. Animation really brings your wildest storytelling ideas to life. No real-world production restraints. More cost-effective than live action. AI-powered video creation tools are 10 times faster. Animations help people visualize and understand complex concepts. Animations improve retention of information. Viewers retain 15% more knowledge by watching an animated video as of a talking head video. And using animation ensures that your content is never generic or out of date. It's easy to reflect diversity, it's easy to personalize, and it's easy to update whenever things change. So, hire me to create your animations so you can start engaging your viewers and meeting your goals.
So let's talk more about that butterfly. Have you ever heard that butterflies are past ones, like, showing a symbol that they're still there? Have you ever heard that before?
I haven't, but I could see how that is the case because this one butterfly, and actually, I don't even know if it's the same butterfly, but it was a butterfly with the same design on its wing. It was out there. Let's say I went outside 2 days later, there was a butterfly. So I was like, so when you said that,
I believe in God. I just started going back to church for real, but I'm a strong believer in God. And when my sister, she told me that she saw this butterfly right after my uncle Roger, my mom's brother, passed away. She saw this butterfly. And I just think about that, like, wow, I feel like God shows us him through so many ways. I feel like everything is intertwined with us. And that maybe people don't believe that today. I'm to my atheist, I truly understand, but at the same time, without my faith and without our faith, I don't think that we could get through anything.
I don't think so either. It's because honestly, when you were saying that, I thought about my life and I was like, what if I didn't believe in God? I think I would be very angry right now, angry and bitter at the world because they took two people that I love. And so without that faith, I think I really would be bitter, but I'm not. Now, I didn't think this in the beginning, but now I'm like, God does not make mistakes. And I feel like He took my mom because I felt like I was robbed of years with her because she was only in her 70s when she passed. And then I have friends whose moms just celebrated 90th birthday and things like that. And I'm like, I was robbed. But I was like, no, God does not make mistakes because He knew that she was in pain, even though she was not going to admit it. Because my mom, she was a very strong woman. She's the epitome of a strong Black woman. And so even when she wasn't feeling well, she never let people know it. But I knew because I could see, I had that intuition kind of thing going. And so for her not to be here is for her to be in eternal rest because she doesn't have to go through any pain anymore, no more suffering, things of that nature. And then with my daughter, she was young, she was 23. So, but I feel like her work here on this earth was done and God called her home because at her funeral, I didn't tell you this, but at her funeral, she went to University of Maryland, College Park, and they let us use the chapel. I don't know if you've been inside the chapel,
Mm-mm.
but it's huge. that chapel was filled. It was standing room only of people that my daughter touched in some kind of way. And I was like, wow, then too, because I was like, she was able to bring all these people from all walks of life together for her in her honor. And so many people would come up to me telling me how she touched them. Like the couple, they recently got married in May, and they wanted to do like a memorial for her. And they asked if it was okay if they used some of her pictures. And I was like, sure, absolutely. And they sent me the program, and they said if it wasn't for my daughter, they wouldn't have met. So they're married. So I was like, wow, daughter really did touch a lot of people's lives. So I wish that I had more time with her. I wish that she could be here to see her niece. I feel like God had a purpose for her, and her time here on earth was, did her work. And so he called her home.
Shape the next generation of AI with your expertise. Join our community of innovators across diverse domains like history, coding, and data science. Build great AI. It's a craft that's never boring. Get paid on your terms and work where and when you want. AI training is never boring. Create your account and try a sample task in your area of expertise. Meet the experts helping develop safe and beneficial AI across multiple disciplines. The flexibility is amazing. I'm learning about a broad variety of topics. This kind of freedom for the first time is a blessing.
Imagine stepping into a therapy session, feeling unsure and overwhelmed. But what if you can walk in with confidence and a clear mind? At the Udonia Project, we bridge the gap between uncertainty and empowerment, providing tools and guidance to help individuals make the most of their journey. Inspired by the challenges many face when seeking mental health support, we set out to create a space where preparation meets progress. We understand that the first step into therapy, it can be daunting. That's why we offer essential prep work through workshops, support groups, and educational resources. Our services are designed to empower you. From interactive workshops and support groups to comprehensive resources, we ensure that you're ready for every step of your therapeutic journey. Join us at the Udonia Project. Together, we can transform uncertainty into confidence and make a lasting impact on your mental health journey. Let's bridge the gap to a brighter future.
Welcome back, y'all. Thank you to our sponsors and investors. So let's get back to it. So I was talking about how I haven't been to church since my freshman year in college. Well, not freshman year in college. Like, I was a choir, so I was always in church. But I had to go for choir.
Right.
So I willingly went for the first time in years 2 Sundays ago.
Oh, wow.
And the first message that was, I almost started crying when I heard it. God has a purpose. And I told my student that too. I literally told my student that everything is for a purpose. God has a purpose. And then I got my job. I'm on this interview. So many good things has been happening. So you saying, yes, your your daughter's fulfilled her purpose on earth. And I believe that I agree with that. I'm glad you view it that way, because a lot of people wouldn't view it that way. A lot of people would be like, God took her from me. God hurt me. And I'm glad you're healing from that. That's so beautiful. So my next question for you is, what's next? I hear you're turning You Used to Love a Crackhead to a book. What's going on with that? What was the details?
Oh, no. Again, healing through storytelling. That's what we're doing here. I finally had the courage to tell my story about it, because it was something that I was ashamed of at first, but I had to, again, give myself grace and realize it wasn't my fault. I didn't know, honestly. So once I had the courage to tell my story, the next thing was, we're doing a book, and it is based on my life, even though the characters are not the real characters, but it is based or inspired by my story, which again, me telling the story is another form of therapy for me. So once I got the story out and I actually listened to it again, I was like, wow, I can see why I did those things. And honestly, people were like, "Oh, I know you couldn't stand him and you glad he's gone blind." And Yes, at that time, he needed to be out of my life because I did not need that. But honestly, as I was telling the story and I looked at it from an outsider view, I kind of felt sympathetic because when someone's battling an addiction, the outside person has no idea what's going on inside. So I thought about it and I was like, I'm pretty sure he did not intend to wake up and say, I'm going to be a crackhead. It was probably a battle, just like the battles I had in my head when I was going through depression. I'm pretty sure he was going through something similar. So I actually had compassion for him, and honestly, I do pray and hope that he did get the help that he needed. I hope that he went into rehab like he said he was going to do. So I actually wish him well. I do hope that he's doing well. I hope, first of all, I hope he's alive. And then if he is, I do hope that he got the help that he needed. So I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm not embarrassed about everything because going back, everything happens for a reason. So, and who knows, maybe that reason was for me to tell my story so that it can help someone else heal that was in a similar situation. So I do know people that were in a similar situation that I had no idea that they were in it. So
Tell me more about that. So you had people who went through these situations too?
yes, surprisingly, people private messaged me and said, I thank you for your courage to tell your story because I was in a similar situation. And they did tell me one was actually married to someone, and she said that he prayed and asked God to send him a woman that could get him off of the drugs. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. So he was looking to you as your like deliverer or to deliver them from the drugs, but it didn't work.
Oh, so I was gonna say, do you think that's even healthy
No,
for a man to be like, can you get me off the drugs and use a woman for it?
not at all. It's one thing to be with someone and let's say throughout their relationship the person gets addicted to drugs, and because of the love some people are saying I'm going to love you through this addiction kind of thing, but for someone to actually say send me another human being to deliver me from this addiction, I don't think that was healthy at all. I do too, and I think that the person should have prayed and asked God not to send him a woman to get him off the addiction, but to send him the resources or the help that he needed to basically be honest with God. God, I don't want to be on drugs anymore. Lord, please deliver me from this addiction. That kind of thing. And I believe that God would have opened up the doors for him to get the help because my thing is, and that's with anything really in life, all truth being parallel, you can't rely on someone else to get you out of your mess. You have to get out of your mess yourself. You get that out of yourself before you can move on to something else. Close one chapter before you open up another.
Right.
You know,
And with closing chapters, my last question for you is, how do you think that all of this has shaped you to be the woman you are now?
it definitely has shaped me to be a more positive thinker. Um, I do not let like, I'm not going to say negative thoughts don't come across my mind because they do, but I don't let it consume me. So I'm the kind of person where I see the vision. I always pray. I ask God to direct my path, make it intentional, let me see the glory in all that I do and let it be for the glory of God. So I feel like it's definitely made me stronger. Back then, people were like, oh, you're so strong when I was going through the grief, but I didn't see it then. But now I'm like, yes, things that would have normally upset me back then, it doesn't affect me anymore because I'm like, you know what? Life is too short. You need to cherish the people that are in your circle while you can. Never take for granted that there's always going to be a tomorrow because you never know. And don't assume that death is a respective person. People assume that definitely affects old people. As we see, my daughter was 23. So cherish people, love them while you can, protect your peace. That's the main thing. That's what I'm standing on right now. If it doesn't bring me peace, I don't want it. I don't care. If I gotta struggle and force something, I shouldn't have to force someone to tolerate me. And we can even put this in a job perspective. I shouldn't force my supervisor So I'm not saying that what's going on with me now on my job.
Oh, like, don't fire her.
Right. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to force you to like me because one, I'm here to do a job.
Right.
So as long as my work is good, we're good. But I don't have to be friends with my coworkers. Actually, you shouldn't be friends with your coworkers. But
I'm best friends.
there are exceptions because honestly, I do have friends that we used to work together first and we still keep in contact. Even though we don't work at the job anymore, we still keep in contact. So I'm not saying that, but don't go in expecting to make friends.
Right.
Because take it from me, years of experience. People that laugh and grin in your face don't always have your best interest.
And you can also use another example is you can't force anyone to love you. I learned that from a situationship. I couldn't force him to love me. I loved him, but he didn't love me.
That
So
part.
you can't force him to love you.
You cannot. And if it's meant to be, it's going to be. You shouldn't have to force it because in some of my other relationships that I talked about before I got into the whole relationship with the crackhead, the relationship before that, did everything I could. I was like, if he sees that I'm faithful, I'm devoted, that I'm always available for him, that he will see that I love him and he'll love me back. And that wasn't the case. I was left giving, but not being fulfilled.
Sometimes it's fun to be in delusional land, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's low-key fun. But I understand. I completely understand. So I want to say thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Thank you for having me.
You guys have to check out Used to Love a Crackhead series on Udonia TV. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Imagine stepping into a therapy session, feeling unsure and overwhelmed. But what if you can walk in with confidence and a clear mind? At the Udonia Project, we bridge the gap between uncertainty and empowerment, providing tools and guidance to help individuals make the most of their journey. Inspired by the challenges many face when seeking mental health support, we set out to create a space where preparation meets progress. We understand that the first step into therapy, it can be daunting. That's why we offer essential prep work through workshops, support groups, and educational resources. Our services are designed to empower you. From interactive workshops and support groups to comprehensive resources, we ensure that you're ready for every step of your therapeutic journey. Join us at the Udonia Project. Together, we can transform uncertainty into confidence and make a lasting impact on your mental health journey. Let's bridge the gap to a brighter future.
Shape the next generation of AI with your expertise. Join our community of innovators across diverse domains like history, coding, and data science. Build great AI. It's a craft that's never boring. Get paid on your terms and work where and when you want. AI training is never boring. Create your account and try a sample task in your area of expertise. Meet the experts helping develop safe and beneficial AI across multiple disciplines. The flexibility is amazing. I'm learning about a broad variety of topics. This kind of freedom for the first time is a blessing.